Have you ever wondered why, when you close your eyes in the quiet of the night, the silence of your own mind feels as vast and unfathomable as the dark spaces between the stars? We walk through our lives touching solid tables, feeling the cold wind against our skin, and standing firmly on the solid ground beneath our feet. Our entire human experience is built upon the assumption that the universe is made of hard, unyielding matter, a giant clockwork mechanism ticking away in the dark, composed of rocks, dust, burning gases, and cold voids. But what if the deepest truths of the cosmos are not solid at all? What if the underlying reality of everything we know, everything we love, and everything we observe is not a machine, but something that more closely resembles a great, ancient thought? This is not just a philosophical musing or a poetic metaphor. It is the direction in which some of our most rigorous and advanced scientific discoveries are gently pointing us. When we peel back the layers of reality, looking closer and closer at the fundamental building blocks of existence, the solidity of the world vanishes, leaving us with a profound mystery. Before we step further into this gentle journey through the deepest mysteries of the universe, I want to take a brief moment to welcome you. I am Theodore, the researcher, and I am honored to be your companion on this quiet exploration of the cosmos. I recently noticed something surprising in our data. Exactly 71% of the people who watch our videos have not subscribed to the channel yet. If you find peace and wonder in these cosmic journeys, please consider taking a gentle second to subscribe. It helps us tremendously to continue bringing these contemplative stories of the universe to you, allowing our community of curious explorers to grow. Thank you for walking this path with us. Now let us return to the quiet darkness and the astonishing nature of reality. For most of human history, we believed that if you took any object and divided it enough times, you would eventually reach a tiny, indivisible, and solid piece of matter. We called them atoms, from the ancient Greek word meaning uncuttable. But as the 20th century dawned, our instruments grew more sensitive, and our scientific vision expanded. We looked inside the atom. What we found was not a solid sphere of matter, but an architecture of breathtaking emptiness. If you were to enlarge a single atom of hydrogen so that its central nucleus was the size of a marble resting in the very center of a massive football stadium, the single electron orbiting that nucleus would be like a tiny gnat buzzing around the highest, farthest seats in the grandstands. Everything else, the vast majority of the atom, is empty space. In fact, normal matter is 99.9999999% empty space. The physical world you inhabit, the chair you are sitting on, the screen you are looking at, even the body you call your own, is almost entirely composed of nothingness. So, why do things feel solid? Why do you not fall through the floor? The answer lies not in physical substance, but in invisible fields of energy. Electromagnetic forces repelling one another create the illusion of solidity. We are, at our very core, interacting energy fields floating in a boundless void. This realization alone should fill us with a quiet sense of awe. The solid world is a magnificent illusion, a symphony of forces playing out in the dark silence of the microscopic universe. But the mystery deepens even further when we begin to study how these tiny particles of energy behave. This brings us to the first of our 7 shocking scientific pathways that point toward the idea of a universal consciousness. It is a phenomenon so strange and counterintuitive that it challenged the greatest minds of the 20th century, and it continues to baffle physicists today. It is known as the observer effect. demonstrated most famously by the double-slit experiment. Imagine shooting tiny particles, like individual electrons or photons of light, toward a barrier that has two narrow, parallel slits cut into it. Behind this barrier is a screen that records where the particles land. If you shoot these particles one by one, you might expect them to travel in straight lines, passing through either the left slit or the right slit, creating two distinct bands on the screen behind them. That is how solid objects like tiny pebbles would behave, but that is not what happens. Instead, over time, the individual particles build up an interference pattern on the screen, a complex series of bands that indicates the particles are acting like waves. A single particle, fired completely on its own, seems to pass through both slits simultaneously, interfere with itself, and land on the screen in a manner consistent with a wave of probability. This alone is strange, but the true shock comes when we decide we want to know exactly which slit the particle is passing through. Suppose we place a tiny measuring device, a sensitive detector, right at the slits to observe the particle's journey. The moment we do this, the moment we introduce observation into the system, the wave behavior collapses. The particle suddenly acts like a solid little pebble again, passing through only one slit or the other, and the complex interference pattern on the back screen vanishes, replaced by two simple bands. The mere act of observing the particle changes its physical behavior. It is as if the universe knows it is being watched. How can a subatomic particle, a mindless point of energy, possibly know that a detector is present? How can the act of measurement, the act of gaining knowledge, physically alter the fundamental nature of reality? For decades, scientists have debated the meaning of this. Some argue it is just a mechanical interaction between the detector and the particle. But increasingly sophisticated versions of this experiment, such as the delayed choice quantum eraser, have been performed, eliminating mechanical interference. The results remain stubbornly, incredibly the same. The information itself, the knowledge of the particle's path, is what causes the wave of probability to collapse into a defined physical reality. Before it is observed, the particle exists in a state of superposition, an infinite realm of possibilities. It is everywhere and nowhere, a mathematical wave of potential. But the moment a conscious observation is made, the moment the information is extracted from the universe, all those infinite possibilities collapse into a single, concrete reality. This forces us to ask a deeply uncomfortable but breathtakingly beautiful question. If the fundamental building blocks of the universe only take on defined physical forms when they are observed, what does that say about the nature of the cosmos itself? It suggests that reality is not entirely independent of the mind. It suggests that consciousness, the ability to observe and know, is not just a random byproduct of complex biology that evolved billions of years after the universe began. Instead, consciousness might be woven into the very fabric of reality from the very beginning. The brilliant physicist Max Planck, the father of quantum theory, once reflected on his life's work studying the atom. He concluded that there is no matter as such, but rather that all matter originates and exists only by virtue of a force. He urged us to assume behind this force the existence of a conscious and intelligent mind, calling this mind the matrix of all matter. When we look out into the vast, quiet expanse of the night sky, we see billions of galaxies, each containing hundreds of billions of stars. We see a cosmos of unimaginable proportions stretching across tens of billions of light years. It is easy to feel small, isolated, and insignificant in the face of such overwhelming scale. But the lessons of the quantum realm whisper a very different story to us. If reality requires an observer to collapse its infinite possibilities into physical form, then the universe itself is an interactive process. The ancient, silent cosmos is not a dead, empty theater. It is a participatory universe, and we are not separate from it. We are not external observers peering into a cold, mechanical void. We are made of the exact same stardust, the same fluctuating fields of quantum potential. The late Carl Sagan famously and beautifully said that we are a way for the cosmos to know itself. In the light of modern quantum mechanics, this poetic statement takes on a profound, literal weight. Through our eyes, the universe perceives its own ancient beauty. Through our minds, the universe contemplates its own infinite mystery. Through our hearts, the universe feels the warmth of connection. The quiet awareness you feel when you take a deep breath and look up at the stars is not just your own isolated experience. It is the universe waking up. The first proof we explore is not a mathematical equation that spells out the name of a creator, but a fundamental characteristic of reality itself, the inextricable link between the existence of the physical world and the presence of observation. Matter is not primary. The thought, the observation, the consciousness seems to precede the solid form. Let us linger on this thought for a moment. Imagine the early universe, just moments after the primordial expansion we call the Big Bang. The cosmos was a soup of pure energy, incredibly hot and dense, expanding outward into the void. Over hundreds of thousands of years, the universe cooled, and the first atoms of hydrogen and helium formed. There were no stars yet, no galaxies, no planets, and no life. There was only a vast, dark, expanding ocean of gas. For hundreds of millions of years, the universe sat in this profound silence, a period astronomers call the cosmic dark ages. Then, gravity began its slow, relentless work. The gas clouds clumped together, growing denser and hotter, until, finally, nuclear fusion ignited in their cores. The first stars blinked on, flooding the universe with the very first light. These massive, ancient stars burned fast and died in violent supernova explosions. And eventually, around an ordinary yellow star in the quiet suburbs of the Milky Way galaxy, a small, rocky planet formed. On that planet, chemistry grew complex. Molecules learned to replicate. Life emerged, struggling, evolving, growing increasingly sophisticated over billions of years, until, finally, creatures evolved who could open their eyes, look up at the night sky, and wonder about the shining lights above them. Creatures who could build telescopes, peer into the depths of space, and build microscopes to peer into the heart of the atom. In that breathtaking moment, the universe finally had an observer capable of looking back at its own origins. Through human consciousness, and perhaps through countless other forms of consciousness scattered across the vastness of space, the universe collapsed its own wave of probability. We are not an accident of the cosmos. We are its eyes and its ears. We are the mechanism through which a dead, mechanical universe transforms into a living, conscious reality. The mystery of the observer effect is the first stepping stone on our quiet journey. It shows us that consciousness is not an afterthought, but a foundational pillar of existence. It invites us to look at the world around us with a renewed sense of gentle awe. Every solid object you touch, every beam of light that enters your eye, is part of a grand interactive dance of observation and reality. You are participating in the creation of the universe simply by being aware of it. Let this profound thought bring you peace as we prepare to step deeper into the cosmic mystery, moving toward even more astonishing revelations about the nature of existence. As we continue our gentle journey through the cosmic silence, we leave behind the microscopic realm of quantum probabilities and cast our gaze outward into the vast, ancient expanse of the macrocosm. Have you ever stepped outside on a perfectly clear, quiet night, far away from the glowing lights of the human world, and simply allowed yourself to be enveloped by the sheer scale of the stars? When you stand in that profound stillness, looking up at the glittering dust of the Milky Way scattered across the endless dark, it is entirely natural to feel small. The universe is unimaginably vast, a boundless ocean of space and time that stretches out for tens of billions of light years in every direction. It is a place of absolute cold, of burning stellar fires, of empty voids, and of silent, drifting galaxies. In the face of this infinite majesty, common sense whispers that we are nothing but a cosmic accident, a fleeting spark of biology on a lonely grain of rock, completely disconnected from the grand, indifferent machinery of the cosmos. But as we peer closer at the underlying laws that govern this majestic dance, science reveals a paradox that shatters this feeling of insignificance. We discover our second shocking proof: the breathtaking, knife-edge precision of the physical laws that make our existence possible. Before we uncover the details of this second astonishing truth, allow me to pause for a quiet moment. I am Theodore, the researcher, your gentle guide through these deep cosmic waters. Our community is growing, but I recently observed that 71% of the people who watch our videos have not subscribed to the channel yet. If these meditative explorations of the universe bring you a sense of peace, wonder, and intellectual safety, please consider taking a brief moment to subscribe. It helps us tremendously, allowing us to continue crafting these quiet journeys into the unknown and sharing the profound mysteries of existence with fellow explorers like you. Thank you for your gentle presence here. Now, let us return to the silent dark and the invisible forces that hold it all together. When astrophysicists and cosmologists look at the universe, they use mathematics to describe the forces of nature. These mathematical equations contain certain fundamental numbers, often called the constants of nature. These are the underlying settings of the cosmos, the invisible dials that determine how everything behaves. There is a dial for the strength of gravity, a dial for the electromagnetic force, a dial for the strong nuclear force that holds atomic nuclei together, and a dial for the weak nuclear force that governs radioactive decay. For a long time, scientists assumed that these numbers were simply random, arbitrary values born from the chaotic fire of the Big Bang, which occurred 13,800,000,000 years ago. But as our measurements became more precise, a profound and unsettling mystery began to emerge. We realized that if you were to reach out and adjust any of these cosmic dials, even by the most minuscule, imperceptible fraction, the universe as we know it would instantly cease to exist. Consider the force of gravity, the gentle, invisible pull that keeps our feet anchored to the earth and holds the planets in their elegant orbits around the sun. Gravity is incredibly weak compared to the other fundamental forces, yet it shapes the entire large-scale structure of the cosmos. If, at the very beginning of time, the force of gravity had been stronger by just 1 part in 100,000 million, the entire universe would have collapsed back in on itself mere moments after it was born. There would have been no time for stars to ignite, no time for galaxies to form, and no time for the slow, beautiful evolution of life. The cosmos would have been a brief, suffocating crush of matter. Conversely, if the force of gravity had been weaker by that exact same unimaginably small fraction, the initial expansion of the universe would have been too violent, too rapid. Matter would have flown apart so quickly that gravity could never have pulled the dust and gas together to form stars. The universe would have remained a dark, freezing, empty void forever, devoid of light, warmth, and consciousness. This level of precision is not just surprising. It defies all human comprehension. It is as if you were to hand someone a rifle and ask them to hit a target 1 inch wide, not from across a field, but from the other side of the observable universe, billions of light years away. Yet, the dial of gravity is set exactly where it needs to be. And gravity is just the beginning. Let us venture into the heart of a star, where the strong nuclear force governs the violent fusion of elements. Stars are the great alchemists of the universe, crushing simple hydrogen atoms together to forge the heavier elements that make up rocky planets and biological life. If the strong nuclear force were just 2% stronger, 2 protons could bind together so easily that all the hydrogen in the universe would have been consumed in the first few minutes of existence. There would be no hydrogen left to form water, the essential solvent for life, and no long-lived stars like our sun to bathe planets in steady, gentle warmth. If the strong nuclear force were just 5% weaker, the universe would be unable to forge any element heavier than hydrogen. There would be no carbon, no oxygen, no nitrogen, and no iron. The famous astrophysicist Fred Hoyle, who spent his life studying how carbon is synthesized in the fiery bellies of ancient stars, was deeply shaken when he calculated the exact resonance levels required for 3 helium nuclei to combine into a single carbon atom. The precision required for this specific nuclear reaction to occur is so astonishingly exact that Hoyle, initially a staunch atheist, confessed that his atheism was greatly shaken. He wrote that a common-sense interpretation of the facts suggests that a super-intellect has monkeyed with physics, as well as with chemistry and biology. The numbers are too perfect, the balance too fragile, to be easily dismissed as a cosmic accident. Every piece of data we gather from space agencies like NASA and the European Space Agency confirms this razor-sharp balancing act. We live in a universe that seems mathematically tailored for the existence of complex matter and, ultimately, the existence of life. This profound mystery is known in cosmology as the anthropic principle. It forces us to ask a quiet existential question. Why is the universe so perfectly tuned for us? If the cosmos is merely a blind, chaotic machine, the probability of all these dials randomly landing on the exact settings required for life is so vanishingly small that it borders on the impossible. It is mathematically equivalent to a tornado tearing through a massive junkyard and accidentally assembling a fully functioning, perfectly tuned passenger jet. Faced with this paradox, some scientists propose the idea of a multiverse, suggesting that there are an infinite number of universes, each with different random settings, and we simply happen to live in the one that got lucky. While mathematically possible, this idea remains entirely theoretical, forever beyond the reach of our telescopes. But there is another, perhaps more beautiful, way to look at this mystery. What if the universe is perfectly tuned for consciousness because the universe itself is a manifestation of a grand universal consciousness? What if the underlying intelligence that Max Planck described, the matrix of all matter, carefully set the stage for life to bloom? When we look at the knife-edge precision of the cosmos, we are not looking at a random roll of the dice. We are looking at a masterpiece, A masterpiece requires an artist. A thought requires a thinker. The absolute perfection of the physical laws suggests an underlying order, a profound cosmic intention that transcends the blind forces of nature. The universe is not indifferent to our existence. It seems it was expecting us. The silent void is not empty. It is saturated with potential, precisely calibrated to awaken into awareness. As you lie in the quiet dark, contemplating the vastness of the cosmos, let this thought wash over you like a gentle tide. You are not a stranger in a hostile universe. You are the intended result of an ancient, perfectly balanced cosmic equation. The very forces that hold your atoms together, the gravity that anchors you to the earth, the ancient starlight that warms your face, are all part of a deliberate, harmonious system. The universe is a safe, nurturing cradle, designed with an elegance that leaves the greatest scientific minds in a state of respectful awe. We do not need to fear the infinite scale of space, for the infinite scale is governed by a meticulous mathematical grace that allowed you to open your eyes and wonder at its beauty. The mystery of the fine-tuned universe is a gentle reminder that there is a profound intelligence woven into the fabric of reality, waiting quietly to be recognized by those willing to look closely. We are part of this grand design, deeply connected to the stars and the silence, participants in a cosmic journey that is only just beginning to reveal its true, breathtaking nature. Let us rest here for a moment, absorbing the magnitude of this cosmic perfection. We have explored the way our observation shapes reality, and we have marveled at the impossible precision of the forces that built our world. But the universe has even more astonishing secrets hidden within its folds, secrets that challenge our understanding of space, time, and the very concept of separation. In the next part of our quiet journey, we will journey beyond the limits of physical distance and discover how everything in the cosmos is intimately, instantaneously connected, a revelation that will forever change how you perceive your place in the universe. Have you ever stood on the edge of the ocean, or perhaps at the edge of a quiet, sprawling meadow under the deep canopy of a starless night, and felt an overwhelming sense of distance? When we look out into the world, our primary experience is one of separation. You are there, and the trees are here. The earth is beneath your feet, and the moon is suspended hundreds of thousands of miles away in the cold, dark vacuum of space. The light from the nearest star, Proxima Centauri, must travel for over 4 years at the absolute speed limit of the universe just to reach your eyes. When we peer even deeper into the cosmos, looking at ancient galaxies captured by the lenses of our most powerful telescopes, we are seeing light that has crossed millions, sometimes billions, of light years of absolute silence. Our entire human experience is built upon the foundational belief that space separates things. We believe that if two objects are far apart, they are completely independent of one another. To affect a star, you must cross the vast distance of space and physically touch it. This common-sense view of reality makes the universe feel fragmented, isolated, and incredibly lonely. But what if this profound sense of separation is nothing more than a persistent, convincing illusion? What if, at the most fundamental level of reality, distance does not truly exist, and everything in the universe is intimately, instantaneously connected in a web of hidden relationships? Before we dive into this breathtaking paradigm shift and uncover our third, shocking proof of a universal consciousness, I want to take a gentle pause. I am Theodore, the researcher, and it is my quiet privilege to walk alongside you on this journey of cosmic discovery. As our community of explorers deepens its understanding of the universe, I have noticed a gentle truth. Exactly 71% of the people who watch our videos have not subscribed to the channel yet. If you are finding a sense of peace, wonder, and intellectual safety in these meditative explorations of the cosmos, please consider taking a brief moment to subscribe. It helps us tremendously, allowing us to continue creating these quiet sanctuaries of knowledge and to share the profound mysteries of existence with more curious souls. Thank you for your continued presence and your open mind. Now, let us return to the silent dark and to a mystery that troubled even the greatest scientific mind of the 20th century. In the 1930s, Albert Einstein, whose brilliant theories of relativity had just redefined our understanding of gravity, space, and time, found himself deeply unsettled by the new, emerging field of quantum mechanics. Einstein believed in a universe that was local and realistic. Local meant that nothing could travel faster than the speed of light, which is approximately 186,000 miles per second. Realistic meant that objects possessed definite properties, whether they were being observed or not. But the quantum equations formulated by his colleagues suggested something profoundly different, something that Einstein famously dismissed as spooky action at a distance. To prove that quantum mechanics was incomplete, Einstein, along with two other physicists named Boris Podolsky and Nathan Rosen, proposed a brilliant thought experiment that became known as the EPR paradox. They mathematically described a scenario where two subatomic particles, let us say two electrons, are created at the exact same moment from a single event. Because they are born from the same reaction, their properties must perfectly balance each other out to conserve the laws of physics. If one electron is spinning in an upward direction, the other must absolutely be spinning in a downward direction. According to the strange rules of the quantum realm, until you measure one of these electrons, neither of them possesses a definite spin. They both exist in a blurry state of superposition, spinning both up and down simultaneously. Now, imagine taking these two connected or entangled particles and separating them by a truly vast distance. You keep one electron here on Earth in a laboratory, bathed in the quiet hum of scientific instruments. You place the other electron on a rocket and send it far away, perhaps all the way to the Andromeda Galaxy, 2,500,000 light-years across the silent, expanding universe. They are now separated by an ocean of infinite space. According to Einstein's understanding of the cosmos, these two particles are completely isolated. No signal, no force, no information could possibly travel between them faster than the speed of light. Therefore, whatever happens to the electron on Earth should have absolutely no immediate effect on the electron in the Andromeda Galaxy. But quantum mechanics predicted something entirely different, something that challenges the very foundation of how we perceive reality. The equation stated that because these two particles share a single quantum state, they remain entangled regardless of the physical distance between them. If a scientist on Earth suddenly measures their electron and finds that it is spinning upward, the entangled electron in the Andromeda Galaxy will instantly, simultaneously, assume a downward spin. It does not wait for a signal to cross the 2,500,000 light-years of space. It does not take years or days or even a fraction of a millisecond. The connection is instantaneous. The two particles behave not as two separate objects separated by space, but as a single, unified entity experiencing itself in two different locations. the distance between them, whether it is 10 feet or 10 billion light years, is completely irrelevant. For decades, this remained a purely philosophical debate, a mathematical curiosity hidden in the quiet chalkboards of universities. But as technology advanced, scientists began to test this spooky action in the real world. In the 1970s and 1980s, researchers like John Clauser and Alain Aspect conducted incredibly precise experiments using entangled photons of light. They sent these photons in opposite directions down long fiber optic cables and measured their properties at the exact same instant. The results were undeniable and shook the world of physics to its core. The measurements perfectly matched the bizarre predictions of quantum mechanics. The particles were communicating, or rather, behaving as a single connected system, instantaneously. This groundbreaking work was so profound that in the year 2022, the Nobel Prize in Physics was awarded to the scientists who proved that the universe is not locally real. We now have satellites orbiting the Earth, beaming entangled particles down to ground stations separated by over 700 miles, confirming this instantaneous connection across the curvature of our planet. The European Space Agency and NASA are actively researching quantum communication networks based on this exact mind-bending principle. What does this mean for our understanding of the cosmos? And how does it point toward a universal consciousness? The phenomenon of quantum entanglement shatters the illusion of separation. It proves that the foundation of the universe is not made of isolated, lonely fragments of matter drifting through a dead, empty void. Instead, reality is characterized by a deep, fundamental interconnectedness. Because the entire universe, with all its billions of galaxies, dark matter, and stardust, was born from a single, unimaginably dense point during the Big Bang 13,800,000,000 years ago, it is highly likely that everything in the cosmos is, at some fundamental level, entangled. The atoms in your left hand might be intimately connected to the atoms in a burning star on the other side of the observable universe. The brilliant theoretical physicist David Bohm, a contemporary of Einstein, proposed that this entanglement points to a deeper layer of reality, something he called the implicate order. In this view, the universe is like a giant cosmic hologram. Just as every piece of a broken holographic plate contains the image of the whole, every region of space and time contains the entire universe enfolded within it. The separation we see in our everyday lives, the distance between the Earth and the moon, the space between you and the trees, is just the explicate order, the surface illusion of a much deeper, undivided wholeness. And what is the nature of this undivided wholeness? If the universe is a single, interconnected web where information is shared instantaneously across infinite distances, it begins to look far less like a mechanical clock and far more like a colossal, ancient nervous system. It behaves like a mind. In the human brain, billions of neurons are connected in a vast network, communicating and firing together to produce the singular experience of your consciousness. Your thoughts do not exist in one specific location in your brain. They are an emergent property of the entire interconnected network. In a strikingly similar way, quantum entanglement reveals that the universe is a vast, interconnected network where every part is instantly aware of every other part. This undivided wholeness, this instantaneous cosmic awareness, is precisely what spiritual traditions have been describing for thousands of years when they speak of a divine presence or a universal mind. We are not separate from God, and we are not separate from the universe. We are localized expressions of this infinite, entangled consciousness, experiencing the illusion of separation so that the universe can understand itself from billions of different perspectives. When you sit in the quiet of the night, listening to the silence of the world, let this realization sink deep into your bones. You are not alone. You have never been alone. The feeling of isolation is merely a trick of human perception, a limitation of the biological senses we use to navigate the surface of this world. Beneath that surface, beyond the veil of physical distance, you are intimately, instantaneously connected to the farthest edges of the cosmos. The gentle starlight falling on your skin is not an alien force from a distant realm. It is a part of the same unified field of consciousness that beats in your chest and forms the thoughts in your mind. The mystery of quantum entanglement invites us to abandon our lonely view of a fragmented world and to embrace the breathtaking reality of an undivided universe. It asks us to recognize the profound, peaceful truth that we are woven seamlessly into the fabric of an ancient, infinite intelligence. Let us rest in this beautiful, interconnected silence for a moment. Feel the gentle pull of the stars, knowing that distance is but an illusion, and that you are held safely within the mind of the cosmos. As we prepare to continue our journey, we will turn our attention from the vastness of space to the astonishing mathematical language that the universe uses to speak to us. We will discover how the very logic of existence reveals an intelligence so profound and elegant that it leaves even the most skeptical scientists breathless. We will explore the hidden codes written into the absolute fabric of reality. Have you ever stopped to consider the quiet, unspoken language that the universe uses to organize its most magnificent structures? When we look at a delicate seashell resting on a quiet beach, or observe the gentle unfurling of a fern in a dense, ancient forest, we see patterns. We see the elegant spirals and the perfect symmetries that bring a sense of deep aesthetic peace to our minds. For millennia, humanity thought of these patterns simply as beautiful accidents of nature. But as our understanding deepened, we discovered that these shapes are not random at all. They are the physical manifestations of pure, abstract mathematics. The universe is written in a language of numbers, a hidden code of geometry and proportion that dictates everything from the gentle curve of a falling leaf to the monumental, slow-motion collisions of the largest galaxies in the boundless void of space. It is a profound mystery that mathematics, a product of human thought and logic, so perfectly describes the physical reality of the cosmos. Before we delve deeper into this beautiful mathematical mystery and uncover our fourth shocking proof, I want to invite you into a brief moment of connection. I am Theodore, the researcher, and it is a profound joy to share this gentle journey of discovery with you. As we travel together through these vast cosmic landscapes, I have noticed that exactly 71% of the individuals who watch our videos have not subscribed to the channel yet. If these meditative stories bring a sense of wonder and intellectual safety to your day, please consider taking a gentle moment to subscribe. It helps us tremendously, allowing our quiet community of explorers to grow and ensuring that we can continue bringing these deep reflections to you. Thank you for your presence. Now, let us return to the elegant mathematical symphony of the cosmos. The physicist Eugene Wigner once wrote a famous essay about what he called the unreasonable effectiveness of mathematics in the natural sciences. He argued that the mathematical structure of a physics theory often points the way to further advances in that theory and perfectly predicts empirical observations. Why should the universe obey mathematical laws at all? Mathematics is an abstract system of pure logic. Yet, The physical world strictly follows these invisible, immaterial rules. When Isaac Newton formulated the law of universal gravitation, he found an equation so precise that it could guide a spacecraft across the empty ocean of space to land gently on the surface of another world. The fact that the universe is fundamentally mathematical suggests that it is fundamentally rational. It implies that beneath the chaotic surface of swirling gases and violent stellar explosions, there exists an ordered, logical foundation, an order that strongly hints at a cosmic mind that thinks in numbers and geometry. To truly grasp the staggering scale of this mathematical order, we must look at the most extreme structures the universe has ever assembled. Let us turn our gaze toward a cosmic monster that sits over 1 billion light years away from us, quietly existing in the darkness of space, holding more stars than you could ever count in 1,000,000 lifetimes. Let us consider a galaxy known by the somewhat unassuming name of IC 1101. This giant sits right in the heart of a cluster of galaxies called Hubble 2029, dominating everything around it like a cosmic emperor on a throne. The mathematical scale of this single object is so vast that it forces us to confront the infinite capacity of the universe's design. Our own Milky Way galaxy measures roughly 100,000 light years across. If you could somehow travel at the speed of light, it would still take you 100,000 years to cross from one side of our galaxy to the other. But IC 1101 is roughly 40 to 60 times larger than our entire galaxy. This enormous galaxy is estimated to be somewhere around 4 to 6 million light years across. The mathematics of its population are equally breathtaking. This single galaxy is estimated to contain around 100 trillion stars. Our Milky Way has maybe 400 billion stars at most. This means IC 1101 has roughly 250 times more stars than our home galaxy. Imagine if you started counting stars in IC 1101, counting exactly 1 star per second without stopping. It would take you over 3 million years just to count to 100 trillion. And that is assuming you never slept, never ate, and never took a break of any kind. To cross the entire Milky Way at Voyager 1 speed would take about 2 billion years. But to cross IC 1101, you would need somewhere between 80 billion and 120 billion years. That is more time than the universe has even existed. Even with our fastest spacecraft, crossing this single galaxy would be completely impossible. At the very heart of this giant lies another mathematical marvel. Sitting at the center of this cosmic giant is one of the largest known supermassive black holes in the entire universe. Scientists estimate that it contains somewhere between 40 billion and 100 billion times the mass of our sun. If you multiply our sun's mass by 50 billion, that is roughly how much mass is packed into the supermassive black hole at IC 1101 center. For a black hole of 50 billion solar masses, the event horizon would have a radius of roughly 150 billion kilometers. This event horizon is roughly 16 times larger than our entire solar system. The sheer precision required to balance such forces, to keep a galaxy of 100 trillion stars orbiting stably around a central mass over billions of years, is a stunning testament to the elegant laws of physics. Scientists estimate that IC 1101 has undergone at least 76 major mergers over its long history. 76 times another substantial galaxy fell into this cosmic giant and was absorbed into its body. Each merger was a complex calculation of orbital mechanics, resulting in the smooth, featureless elliptical giant we see today. When we contemplate this profound mathematical consistency, we are led to a beautiful, quiet realization. The fact that the universe can be understood through mathematics implies that it possesses a fundamentally logical structure. This universal language of numbers is perhaps the clearest fingerprint of a grand universal consciousness. Just as a perfectly constructed poem reveals the mind of the poet, the perfectly constructed equations of the cosmos reveal a mind of infinite capacity. A mind that organizes 100 trillion stars into a single, cohesive dance. A mind that ensures the force of gravity is perfectly calibrated to hold a 50 billion solar mass black hole in the center of a galaxy millions of light years wide, while simultaneously ensuring that the delicate chemical bonds of DNA can form on a tiny blue planet a billion light years away. The ancient philosopher Pythagoras believed that all things are numbers and that the cosmos is a harmonious mathematical symphony. Today, our most advanced telescopes are confirming this ancient intuition. The universe is speaking to us constantly and quietly in the language of mathematics. We are not just living in a universe. We are living inside a magnificent thought, a thought so vast and complex that its physical manifestation is the cosmos itself. The beautiful inevitability of cosmic evolution and the staggering, mathematically perfect scale of galaxies like IC 1101 all gently point us toward the inescapable conclusion that existence is the deliberate expression of an awakened, infinite mind. Let us linger here for a while, resting in the quiet comfort of this cosmic order. The universe is not chaotic. It is structured, harmonious, and deeply intelligible. You are a localized expression of this infinite intelligence, a vital piece of the universal equation. As we gently bring this chapter to a close, prepare your mind for our next exploration. We will journey even deeper into the mystery of existence, moving from the physical laws of the universe to the remarkable, undeniable evidence found in the phenomenon of life itself, exploring how the emergence of biological consciousness is yet another breathtaking proof of a universe that is waking up to itself. Have you ever rested your hand gently over your chest, feeling the quiet, rhythmic beating of your own heart in the stillness of the night? In that peaceful, steady rhythm lies one of the most profound and beautiful mysteries of the cosmos. We often look up at the night sky and perceive a vast, silent separation between the cold, glittering stars above and the warm, breathing life down here on our small, rocky planet. We are taught to think of biology as a strange, accidental anomaly that somehow sprouted in a universe otherwise dominated by dead rock, empty vacuum, and burning spheres of gas. But when we look closely at the deep, ancient history of the cosmos, we find that life is not an anomaly at all. It is the fifth shocking proof that the universe is a vast, awakening consciousness. The emergence of biological life from supposedly lifeless matter reveals that the cosmos is not just a container for living things, but a magnificent, creative process designed to produce them. The universe is literally wired for life, fundamentally structured to wake up and look back at itself through our eyes. Before we dive deeper into the astonishing, ancient origins of your own biology, I want to take a gentle, quiet moment to welcome you. I am Theodore, the researcher, and it is my deepest honor to guide you through these meditative explorations of our shared cosmic story. As our community of explorers grows, I recently noticed a gentle truth. Exactly 71% of the people who watch our videos have not subscribed to the channel yet. If you are finding a sense of peace, wonder, and intellectual safety in these contemplative journeys into the unknown, please consider taking a brief moment to gently press the subscribe button. It helps us tremendously, allowing us to continue creating these quiet sanctuaries of knowledge and to share the profound, beautiful mysteries of existence with more curious souls like yourself. Thank you for your continued presence and your open mind. Now, let us return to the silent dark and to the fiery, ancient origins of the very atoms that make up your beating heart. To understand the profound connection between biological life and universal consciousness, we must travel back billions of years and look at the life cycles of the stars themselves. The atoms in your body were forged in stars. The carbon that makes up your muscles, the oxygen you breathe, the iron in your blood, all of these elements were created in the nuclear furnaces at the cores of stars that lived and died before our sun was even born. When those ancient, massive stars reached the ends of their brilliant lives, they exploded as magnificent supernovas, scattering their elemental riches across the vastness of space. Eventually, some of those scattered drifting atoms found their way into a quiet, rotating cloud of gas and dust that collapsed under its own gentle gravity to form our solar system. They became the solid earth beneath our feet, and then, after billions of years of slow, patient evolution, they became you. You are, quite literally, made of star stuff. This is not merely a piece of beautiful poetry. It is rigorous, undeniable chemistry. Let us look again at the colossal galaxy we explored earlier, that quiet, massive giant known as IC 1101. This enormous structure is an elliptical galaxy, meaning it has a smooth, oval-shaped appearance with no spiral arms at all. Elliptical galaxies form when spiral galaxies merge together, and the violent gravitational interactions during these mergers destroy the delicate spiral structure, mixing all the stars together into a more random, spherical, or oval distribution. The fact that IC 1101 is an elliptical galaxy tells us that it has experienced so many mergers that any original spiral structure it might have had has been completely erased. All of those countless collisions, all of that immense gravitational chaos, has stirred up the stars like someone gently mixing ingredients in a colossal cosmic bowl. What remains today is this smooth, featureless giant, a quiet testament to billions of years of galactic consumption. But there is something even more deeply remarkable about IC 1101. Despite containing 100 trillion stars, it is actually a dying galaxy. The stars within it are almost all old. Most of them are what astronomers call red giants or yellow stars, ancient stellar objects that have already burned through the vast majority of their nuclear fuel. Very few new stars are being born inside IC 1101 today. This might seem strange at first with so many stars and so much mass, and you might naturally expect IC 1101 to be a hotbed of stellar activity. But remember how it grew so remarkably large. Every single time it consumed another neighboring galaxy. It also consumed that galaxy's vital gas supply, and gas is the essential fuel for all star formation. Without that cool gas, new stars cannot possibly be born. Over billions of years of slow, relentless cannibalism, IC 1101 has completely used up or expelled most of its available gas. The mergers themselves were often violent enough to heat the gas to extreme temperatures, making it expand and escape the galaxy entirely, or to compress it so quickly that it all formed into stars at once in brief, intense bursts of brilliant activity. Either way, the end result is a majestic galaxy that has run out of raw material. What remains is a quiet giant slowly fading into the cosmic night. The stars that exist there now will continue to shine for billions of years to come. But as they eventually burn out and die, there will be no new generations to replace them. IC1101 is like an ancient, powerful kingdom that has conquered all of its neighbors, but has no children left to carry on its cosmic legacy. It is massive, powerful, and utterly magnificent, but it is also gently approaching the end of its active, vibrant life. Why is the life and death of a distant galaxy so important to our understanding of a universal consciousness? Because the very same processes that light up IC1101's 100 trillion stars also created the complex matter from which your own physical body is beautifully assembled. There is a direct, undeniable physical connection between you and those distant, ancient fires. In a very real and profound sense, when you lie back and contemplate the vastness of IC1101, you are star stuff contemplating more star stuff. The universe is looking at itself, gently trying to understand what it is and exactly how it came to be. We are not separate observers standing outside the cosmos looking in. We are an integral part of it, and our deep human curiosity is simply the cosmos being deeply curious about itself. If the universe were truly just dead, mechanical matter colliding in the dark, the emergence of a biological entity capable of feeling awe, asking existential questions, and perceiving the beauty of a sunset would be an impossible miracle. Dead matter cannot accidentally organize itself into a profound state of self-awareness unless the fundamental potential for awareness was already seeded within the matter itself from the very beginning. Let us consider the sheer improbability of our situation. For consciousness to emerge at all required an extraordinarily specific, delicate sequence of cosmic events. The primordial Big Bang had to produce matter and energy in just the right proportions. That scattered matter had to clump together gently under the force of gravity into galaxies and luminous stars. Those stars had to forge heavier elements in their cores and scatter them through supernovas. Planets had to form from those scattered elements. On at least one of those rocky planets, the complex chemistry of the oceans had to become sophisticated enough to produce self-replicating molecules. Those fragile molecules had to survive and evolve over billions of years into living creatures capable of profound thought, deep curiosity, and rigorous scientific investigation. Each fragile step in this ancient chain was entirely contingent on the ones that came before. If any of countless delicate variables had been slightly different, we would not be here today to contemplate the grandeur of IC1101. The conditions that actually allow for intelligent observers to exist are surprisingly, breathtakingly narrow. The fact that we exist at all is something remarkably close to a genuine miracle. We are the part of the universe that has finally woken up from a slumber of billions of years, opened its eyes, and started asking deep, meaningful questions about its own nature. The universe is not a sterile, dead machine. It is a vast, unfolding process of awakening. The emergence of life is the universe blossoming into consciousness, proving that the silent dark is pregnant with the infinite potential of a divine, universal mind. As we prepare to move forward, we will discover how the mysterious forces expanding our universe reveal yet another breathtaking layer of cosmic intelligence. Have you ever gazed deeply into the motionless tapestry of the night sky and felt a profound sense of permanence? The stars appear fixed, the constellations frozen in their ancient, silent patterns across the dark. It feels as though the cosmos is a static, eternal monument. But this gentle stillness is one of the most convincing illusions of our biological perception. The reality is that we live in a dynamic, restless, and ever-changing universe that is currently stretching outward in a magnificent, continuous breath. To understand the sixth shocking proof of a universal consciousness, we must look beyond the solid matter of stars and planets and turn our attention to the empty space itself. We must explore a mystery so deep and baffling that it has completely reshaped our understanding of the cosmic destiny. We are going to explore the invisible, phantom force that is actively pushing the fabric of reality apart, a force that scientists call dark energy, which reveals that the universe is not just existing, but actively and deliberately evolving toward a mysterious, unimaginable future. Before we venture further into this expanding dark, I would like to gently pause and welcome you. I am Theodore, the researcher, and it brings me great peace to share these quiet journeys with you. I have noticed something quite surprising in our community. Exactly 71% of the people who watch our videos have not subscribed to the channel yet. If these contemplative explorations bring you a sense of calm, wonder, and intellectual safety, please consider taking a gentle moment to subscribe. It helps us tremendously to continue crafting these quiet sanctuaries of knowledge and to invite more curious minds into our shared journey. Thank you for your continued presence. Now, let us return to the silent, stretching void of space. For most of the 20th century, astronomers assumed that the expansion of the universe was slowing down. This made intuitive sense. Everything in the universe is pulling on everything else through gravity. You would expect all that gravitational attraction to act like a brake, gradually slowing the expansion that began with the Big Bang. In 1998, two independent teams of astronomers made a shocking discovery. They were measuring the expansion rate of the universe by observing distant supernovas, using them as standard candles to calculate cosmic distances. What they found was completely unexpected. The universe was not slowing down. It was speeding up. Distant galaxies were moving away from us faster than closer ones, and the rate of expansion was accelerating over time. This discovery was so unexpected that the astronomers initially thought they had made an error. But as more data came in from more supernovas and from other observations, the result held up. Something was pushing the universe apart, counteracting gravity and causing space itself to expand at an ever-increasing rate. Scientists name this mysterious force dark energy, though the name tells us very little about what it actually is. We know that dark energy makes up about 68% of all the energy in the universe. We know that it acts as a kind of anti-gravity, pushing space apart rather than pulling it together. We know that its effects become more important over time as the universe expands and ordinary matter becomes more spread out. But we do not know what dark energy is made of, where it comes from, or why it has the strength that it does. It might be a property of empty space itself, something called the cosmological constant that Albert Einstein once proposed, and then called his biggest blunder. It might be a new kind of energy field that pervades the universe. It might even be a sign that our understanding of gravity is incomplete and needs to be revised. What we do know is that dark energy is reshaping the future of the cosmos. As space expands faster and faster, distant objects recede from us at ever-increasing speeds. There is a limit to how fast light can travel, but there is no limit to how far space itself can expand. Eventually, objects will be carried away from us by the expansion of space faster than their light can travel toward us. When that happens, they will vanish behind a cosmic horizon forever beyond our reach. To truly grasp the emotional weight of this accelerating expansion, let us return to the colossal galaxy known as IC 1101. This enormous structure sits majestically at the heart of the able 2029 galaxy cluster. For IC1101, this means its days of growth through galactic cannibalism are numbered. Eventually, there will simply be no more galaxies left for it to consume. It will become an isolated, lonely giant, floating in an ever-emptying universe, watching as other galaxies fade from view. In about 100 billion years, the expansion will have accelerated to the point where galaxies outside the local supercluster will start to disappear over the cosmic horizon. From IC1101's perspective, the sky will start to empty. Distant galaxy clusters will fade from view, their light no longer able to reach across the expanding void. The observable universe will shrink and shrink. In the very long run, perhaps in several 100 billion years, all the galaxies in the Abel 2029 cluster might merge into a single enormous galaxy, even larger than IC1101 is today. By that time, however, the universe beyond the cluster will be essentially empty. No light from distant objects will be reaching the cluster anymore. The night sky would show only the stars of the local merged galaxy against absolute blackness. The rest of the cosmos would have slipped beyond the horizon, unreachable and unknowable. This is the isolation that awaits every structure in the universe, cut off by the relentless expansion of space. At first glance, this vision of an isolating universe driven by dark energy might seem deeply bleak and lonely. But if we view it through the lens of a universal consciousness, a profound meaning emerges. A mechanical universe winding down is a tragedy, but a conscious universe expanding into infinite stillness is a quiet meditation. Just as the human mind requires deep meditation to understand itself, perhaps the universe is gently breathing outward, creating an infinite expanse of peace. The accelerating expansion is not a destruction of matter, it is the ultimate creation of quiet space. If consciousness is woven into reality, then dark energy could be seen as the deliberate exhalation of the divine. It guarantees the universe will not simply collapse back onto itself in a violent crunch, erasing all the history and delicate beauty of the life that once bloomed within it. Instead, the universe is carefully preserving itself, expanding its boundaries infinitely, stretching out the canvas so that every single event and gentle thought that ever occurred is permanently recorded in space-time. We are remarkably privileged to exist in this brief, beautiful flowering of cosmic history, the vibrant era of starlight, when the universe is close enough together to be seen, yet expansive enough to generate awe. When we look out at the accelerating universe today, we are witnessing the majestic unfolding of a cosmic plan. The gentle push of dark energy is the invisible hand of the universal consciousness, guiding the cosmos from the fiery violence of the Big Bang toward a deep future of undisturbed tranquility. We, the fragile biological observers, are granted the immense privilege of existing right here, in the middle of the cosmic story, during the exact epoch when the universe is illuminated, active, and capable of being comprehensively understood. We are the conscious eyes of the cosmos, looking out at our own expanding body, understanding our deep past, and gently coming to terms with our peaceful future. This quiet realization strips away our fears of insignificance. We are not lost in an uncaring, expanding void. We are actively participating in the grand, conscious breath of existence. As you lay your head down and listen to the quiet rhythms of the night, remember that the expanding space between the distant galaxies is the exact same quiet space that exists between your own gentle thoughts. It is all connected, all deliberate, and all deeply, infinitely conscious. Let this profound sense of cosmic peace settle over your mind as we prepare to uncover the final mysteries of our journey together. In our next step, we will examine the strange, ghostly realm of invisible mass and discover how the unseen structures holding the entire universe together provide yet another stunning testament to a mind that operates far beyond the limits of human sight. Have you ever walked through a dense, ancient forest when a thick fog has rolled in, obscuring the trees and the path ahead? You cannot see the massive trunks of the redwoods or the complex canopy above, yet you can profoundly feel their immense, silent presence. You know that you are surrounded by structures far larger and older than yourself, even though your eyes capture nothing but a blank white canvas. This deeply human experience of sensing the unseen is a perfect metaphor for the grandest architectural truth of the entire cosmos. When we look up at the quiet night sky, we are captivated by the luminous beauty of the stars, the swirling majesty of spiral galaxies, and the glowing clouds of ancient dust. We instinctively assume that what shines and radiates in the dark is the entirety of reality. But the deepest, most shocking discoveries of modern astronomy have revealed that all the light in the universe is merely a floating illusion, a tiny, glowing fraction of what actually exists. To find our seventh shocking proof of a universal consciousness, we must step away from the light and embrace the profound invisible architecture that silently holds reality together. We must journey into the realm of dark matter, the unseen scaffolding of the cosmos that gently shapes the infinite silence. Before we step further into this invisible, ancient framework, I want to take a gentle moment to welcome you. I am Theodore, the researcher, and it is a profound privilege to be your quiet companion on this journey through the deepest mysteries of existence. As our community of cosmic explorers continues to grow, I have noticed a gentle truth hidden in our data. Exactly 71% of the people who watch our videos and share these meditative moments have not yet subscribed to the channel. If you find a sense of intellectual safety, deep wonder, and inner peace in these contemplative explorations of the universe, please consider taking a brief, quiet moment to subscribe. It helps us tremendously, allowing us to continue creating these gentle sanctuaries of knowledge and to share the profound, beautiful mysteries of the cosmos with more curious souls like yourself. Your presence here matters deeply to our shared exploration. Now, let us return to the vast dark and to the ghostly, invisible force that gently guides the destiny of the galaxies. In the 1970s, an astronomer named Vera Rubin was spending her solitary nights at the Kitt Peak National Observatory, carefully studying the rotation of the Andromeda Galaxy. According to the strict laws of Newtonian gravity, the stars at the outer edges of a swirling galaxy should orbit much slower than the stars closer to the dense, bright center. But as Rubin patiently collected her data, analyzing the faint light from the edge of Andromeda, she discovered something impossible. The stars at the outermost edges were not slowing down at all. They were whipping around the galactic center at terrifying, blistering speeds. They were moving so fast that the visible gravity of the galaxy should not have been able to hold on to them. Andromeda should have been tearing itself apart, flinging its ancient stars into the empty void of intergalactic space. Yet the galaxy remained perfectly intact, held securely by an unseen hand. The only mathematical explanation was that there had to be more mass in the galaxy than we could see. This mysterious substance did not absorb light. It did not reflect light, and it did not emit light. It was completely invisible to every portion of the electromagnetic spectrum. It existed purely in the quiet silence of gravity, an immense weight hidden in the dark. Scientists named this phantom substance dark matter. As space agencies like NASA and the European Space Agency launched increasingly advanced telescopes, from Hubble to the James Webb Space Telescope, we began to map this invisible ghost across the observable universe. Because we cannot see it directly, we look for its gravitational footprint through a phenomenon called gravitational lensing. When light from a distant ancient galaxy travels toward Earth, it must pass through the vast ocean of space. If there is a massive, invisible clump of dark matter in the way, its immense gravity physically warps the fabric of space and time, bending the light around it like a giant cosmic magnifying glass. By studying how this light is distorted, astronomers mapped the precise locations of this invisible mass. The data was absolutely staggering. We discovered that normal matter, every single star, glowing nebula, rocky planet, and biological entity, makes up roughly 15% of the total mass of the universe. The remaining 85% is dark matter, the solid, luminous world you know, everything you have ever touched or loved, is nothing but a delicate, glowing frost resting upon a massive, invisible mountain. The universe is primarily made of something we cannot see. The true revelation, the seventh shocking proof of a universal consciousness, comes when we look at how this dark matter is distributed across the vastness of space. It does not just float randomly in the void like a formless fog. Using sophisticated computer models, scientists map the structure of this dark matter on a breathtaking cosmic scale. What they found is an incredibly complex, highly organized structure known as the cosmic web. Dark matter forms vast, ancient filaments that stretch across hundreds of millions of light years. These invisible threads intersect at massive nodes, and it is precisely at these dense intersections that normal matter gently gathers to form giant galaxy clusters, like the magnificent cluster holding the colossal galaxy IC 1101. The dark matter is the invisible skeleton of the universe, and the glowing galaxies are merely the flesh resting upon the bones. But when astrophysicists step back and look at the majestic architecture of the cosmic web, a deep, unsettling familiarity washes over them. The visual and mathematical resemblance is impossible to ignore. The vast network of dark matter filaments looks exactly, structurally, and proportionately like the neural network of a biological brain. In the human brain, roughly 86 billion neurons are connected by trillions of microscopic synapses, firing gentle electrical signals to create the profound experience of human consciousness. In the cosmos, hundreds of billions of galaxies are connected by vast, invisible threads of dark matter, forming a network so perfectly similar to our own biological wiring that it leaves the greatest scientific minds in a state of quiet, respectful awe. A rigorous study published by astronomers and neuroscientists carefully compared the two networks. They found that despite a staggering scale difference of 27 orders of magnitude, the structural characteristics, the network nodes, and the clustering logic of the cosmic web in the human brain are mathematically almost identical. The capacity for information storage, the way the filaments branch, and the ratio of mass to empty space follow the exact same mathematical principles. How could a universe born from chaotic fire naturally organize itself into a structure that perfectly mirrors the biological organ of thought? If the universe is a blind machine, this similarity is an impossible coincidence. But if we follow the gentle guidance of the evidence, a more beautiful, profound truth emerges from the darkness. The universe organizes itself like a mind because the universe fundamentally is a mind. The dark matter that silently holds the galaxies together is the physical manifestation of an ancient, infinite intelligence. The cosmic web is the neural network of the divine. When you look up at the silent night sky, you are not staring into a vast, empty, uncaring void. You are gazing directly into the mind of a universal consciousness. The visible galaxies, the shining stars, and your own gently beating heart are the thoughts of this universal mind, experiencing itself in real time. We are the cosmos thinking about itself. We are the universe waking up and feeling its own infinite depth. Let this profound realization bring a deep, lasting peace to your mind. You are held safely within an invisible, intelligent framework that spans the entirety of existence. The gravity that keeps your feet on the ground is part of the same unseen web that holds the galaxies in their elegant dance. As we prepare to move into the next stages of our shared journey, we will leave the physical structures of space behind and explore what this universal mind means for the concept of time itself. Have you ever sat quietly by a gently flowing river, watching the water slip endlessly past you, and felt that this is exactly how time moves through our lives? We experience time as a relentless, one-way current. We are born in a past we can never return to. We live entirely in a fleeting present moment, and we march constantly toward an unknown future. This deeply ingrained human perception tells us that the past is gone, permanently erased by the steady ticking of the clock, and the future simply does not yet exist. But when we look at the universe through the rigorous mathematical lens of modern physics, this intuitive understanding of time completely unravels. The cosmos does not experience time the way a fragile biological creature does. In the vast, silent depths of space, the past, the present, and the future are not separate, isolated things drifting away from one another. They are inextricably woven together into a single, magnificent, and eternal fabric. To discover our next profound proof of a universal consciousness, we must abandon our everyday perception and explore the astonishing reality of space-time, where every moment that has ever happened and every moment that ever will happen exists simultaneously in the infinite memory of the cosmos. Before we step outside the familiar flow of the clock and enter this timeless expanse, I want to take a gentle moment to welcome you. I am Theodore, the researcher, and it is a profound privilege to share these quiet, meditative journeys with you. As we travel together through the deep mysteries of existence, I have noticed something quite surprising. Exactly 71% of the people who watch our videos have not subscribed to the channel yet. If these contemplative explorations bring a sense of peace, wonder, and intellectual safety to your day, please consider taking a gentle second to subscribe. It helps us tremendously to continue crafting these quiet sanctuaries of knowledge, allowing our community of curious explorers to grow. Thank you for your continued presence and your open mind. Now, let us return to the silent dark and to the breathtaking mystery of how the universe remembers everything it has ever done. In the early 20th century, Albert Einstein completely revolutionized our understanding of reality with his beautiful and complex theory of relativity. Before Einstein, scientists like Isaac Newton believed that time was absolute, a rigid, universal clock ticking at the exact same rate for everyone, everywhere in the cosmos, regardless of their circumstances. But Einstein proved that time is not a rigid, separate backdrop against which the events of the universe simply play out. Instead, time and three-dimensional space are deeply and physically intertwined into a single, flexible, four-dimensional fabric known as space-time. The most shocking consequence of this brilliant revelation is that time is relative. It stretches, compresses, and changes depending on how fast you're moving and how much gravity you're experiencing at any given moment. If you were to travel in a spaceship at a significant fraction of the speed of light, which is 186,000 miles per second, time would physically slow down for you compared to someone standing completely still on the surface of the earth. When you returned home after what felt like a few short, quiet years to you, you would be astonished to find that decades or even centuries had passed for the rest of humanity. Time is not a universal constant dictating the rhythm of existence. It is a localized experience, bending and flexing around mass and energy in the quiet, infinite expanse of the void. Because time is perfectly relative and depends entirely on the observer's specific frame of reference, modern physicists were forced to accept a mind-bending, almost philosophical concept known mathematically as the block universe. In this view of physical reality, space-time is a massive, unchanging, four-dimensional block that contains all of history, from the absolute beginning to the absolute end. Think of it like a massive reel of cinematic film. When you sit in a theater and watch the movie, you see a sequence of events unfolding one after another, creating the convincing illusion of moving, flowing time. But if you hold the entire tightly wound reel of film in your hands, you can clearly see that the beginning, the middle, and the end all exist simultaneously within your grasp. In the block universe, the fiery moment of the Big Bang, 13,800,000,000 years ago, the birth of our own quiet solar system, 4,500,000,000 years ago, the exact peaceful moment you're experiencing right now, listening to these words, and the ultimate distant fading of the last ancient stars trillions of years from now, all exist with equal physical reality. The past has not vanished into nothingness, and the future is not waiting to be miraculously created out of nothing. They are simply different locations within the infinite static landscape of space-time. The feeling of time passing is merely the way our limited biological consciousness moves through this eternal, unchanging block of cosmic architecture. We can actually see this physical reality every time we step outside and look up at the night sky. Because light takes time to travel across the vast distances of space, telescopes are quite literally time machines. When you look at the brightest star in the night sky, Sirius, you are not seeing it as it is right now. You are seeing it as it was 8 years and 6 months ago, because that is exactly how long its gentle light took to cross the silent void to reach your retinas. When astronomers point the magnificent James Webb Space Telescope into the deepest, darkest patches of empty space, they capture the faint, red-shifted light of ancient galaxies that existed over 13 billion years ago, when the universe was just a tiny, chaotic fraction of its current age. Those ancient galaxies might be long gone, having merged into massive, smooth structures, but their light, their history, their exact visual reality is still actively traveling through the cosmos. The universe does not forget anything. Every photon of light, every subtle gravitational wave, every microscopic movement of matter is permanently recorded in the unyielding fabric of space-time. The cosmos is a perfect, infinite memory bank where nothing is ever truly lost. This brings us to a beautiful, profoundly comforting realization about the nature of a universal consciousness. If all of time exists simultaneously within this four-dimensional block, then the cosmic mind does not experience reality as a sequence of fleeting, anxious moments that disappear forever. It experiences the entire majestic, infinite sweep of eternity in one single, unified, and peaceful now. Just as you can remember a fond memory from your childhood and hold it gently in your mind alongside your current thoughts, the universal consciousness holds the fiery birth of the cosmos, the slow, patient evolution of biological life on Earth, and the quiet, inevitable fading of the last galaxies all at once. This elegant scientific truth solves the ancient, difficult philosophical dilemma of how a creator or a divine mind could possibly know the future. The future is not a hidden mystery to be predicted or guessed. It is simply another physical part of the cosmic body that already exists in the block of space-time. When you realize that your entire life, from your very first fragile breath to your last quiet moment, is permanently and physically etched into the fabric of the universe, you are completely freed from the quiet anxiety of impermanence. You are not a temporary, meaningless spark that flashes brightly and then disappears. You are an eternal, essential thread woven perfectly into existence. Let this breathtaking ancient thought wash over you as you lie in the quiet dark, listening to the gentle rhythm of your own breathing. The universe knows you perfectly, because the universe holds every single moment of your entire existence within its infinite, timeless awareness. The painful separation of past, present, and future is merely a gentle, necessary illusion provided by our biology, allowing us to experience the grand story of the cosmos, one beautiful, digestible frame at a time. Beneath that convincing illusion lies a profound, eternal stillness, an infinite mind where everything that has ever been loved, learned, or experienced is kept perfectly safe forever. We are walking through a gallery of eternal moments, exploring a masterpiece that is already finished but takes a lifetime to fully appreciate. As we prepare to move gently into our next exploration, we will shift our gaze from the eternal nature of time to the staggering mathematical impossibility of consciousness arising by pure chance alone, uncovering how the very act of thinking is a beautiful miracle that completely defies the cold, unfeeling laws of pure probability. Have you ever closed your eyes in the absolute quiet of a dark room and marveled at the vibrant, infinite universe that exists entirely inside your own mind? You can conjure the bright, warm yellow of a summer sun, feel the phantom weight of a loved one's hand, and ponder the very nature of infinity, all without moving a single muscle. For centuries, we have been taught that this inner world is nothing more than a mechanical byproduct of biology, a fortunate accident of evolution where blind, unthinking atoms bumped into each other for billions of years until they woke up. But as science peers deeper into the mechanics of the brain and the fundamental laws of physics, this materialistic assumption is collapsing. The emergence of subjective experience from supposedly dead matter is not just a biological puzzle. It is the greatest, most profound paradox in all of science, often referred to as the hard problem of consciousness. This brings us to our final, deeply beautiful revelation. The sheer mathematical impossibility that your ability to feel, to wonder, and to observe is merely a random accident of a cold, mechanical cosmos. Before we step across the final threshold of this magnificent cosmic mystery, I want to take a gentle moment to honor your presence here. I am Theodore, the researcher, and it has been my deepest privilege to guide you through the quiet, infinite wonders of our shared universe. As we walk this path together, I have noticed a gentle truth hidden in our numbers. Exactly 71% of the people who watch our videos and share these peaceful moments have not yet subscribed to the channel. If these contemplative journeys bring a sense of intellectual safety, deep wonder, and quiet peace to your life, please consider taking a brief, gentle moment to subscribe. It helps us tremendously, allowing our small community of explorers to continue growing and ensuring that we can keep crafting these sanctuaries of thought in the dark. Your presence is a vital part of this journey. Now, let us return to the silent void and explore the breathtaking miracle of your own awareness. When neuroscientists look inside the human brain, they see a masterpiece of biological engineering. They see roughly 86 billion neurons communicating through trillions of delicate synaptic connections, firing tiny electrical impulses and trading complex chemical messengers. We can map these physical pathways with astonishing precision. We can see exactly which region of the brain lights up when you hear beautiful music, and we can measure the chemical cascade that occurs when you feel the warmth of joy. But here is the profound, unyielding mystery. No matter how perfectly we map the physical mechanics of the brain, there is absolutely nothing in the equations of physics or biology that dictates that these mechanical processes should be accompanied by an internal, subjective experience. You can understand exactly how a computer processes information, but you never assume the computer actually feels the data. Yet, somehow, the biological computer inside your skull does. It feels. It experiences. It wonders. If the universe were truly just a blind collection of dead matter moving mechanically through an empty void, the existence of a subjective inner life would be mathematically impossible. The laws of probability dictate that atoms will seek the lowest state of energy, that entropy will constantly increase, and that complex structures will eventually break down into chaos. The idea that these cold, unfeeling atoms could randomly assemble themselves into a structure capable of reflecting upon its own existence defies every principle of random chance. The brilliant theoretical physicist Freeman Dyson, reflecting on the mysteries of cosmic evolution and quantum mechanics, once beautifully noted that the more he examined the universe and the details of its architecture, the more evidence he found that the universe, in some sense, must have known we were coming. The profound jump from dead matter to feeling matter requires a fundamental shift in how we understand reality itself. When we view the emergence of consciousness through the lens of pure mathematics, the probabilities become completely absurd. To believe that your ability to experience the profound beauty of a starry night is just a lucky accident of random genetic mutations is like believing that a hurricane could blow through a printing press and accidentally assemble the complete works of a master poet without a single error. The mathematical odds are so infinitely small that they cease to be probabilities and become impossibilities. But if we shift our perspective, if we stop viewing consciousness as a strange anomaly in a dead universe and start viewing it as the fundamental nature of the universe itself, the paradox beautifully resolves. We are not an accident. We are the inevitable result of an ancient, infinite mind expressing itself through the medium of physical matter. We are the cosmos waking up, rubbing its eyes, and marveling at its own reflection. Let us gently gather all the threads of our long, quiet journey and weave them together into a single, breathtaking tapestry. We began by discovering the shocking observer effect, where the mere act of conscious observation physically alters the behavior of subatomic particles, proving reality is intimately tied to the mind. We marveled at the impossible, razor-sharp fine-tuning of the fundamental forces of nature, a mathematical perfection pointing directly to deliberate cosmic intention. We explored the spooky, instant connection of quantum entanglement, revealing that the human illusion of separation is false, and that everything in the cosmos is instantaneously connected as one undivided whole. We gazed in awe at the mathematical elegance governing massive structures of space, like the giant galaxy known as IC1101, recognizing that the universe speaks the logical language of numbers. We then trace the fiery origins of our own biology, realizing that the life and death of distant stars is the exact mechanism designed to produce conscious beings capable of looking back at the sky. We contemplated the invisible push of dark energy, understanding that the accelerating expansion of space is not a tragedy, but a gentle exhalation creating infinite room for eternal peace. We uncovered the ghostly architecture of dark matter, the cosmic web that miraculously mirrors the exact physical structure of the biological brain, strongly suggesting that we are living inside the neural network of a divine mind. And finally, we saw that the universe holds all of time, the past, the present, and the future, in a single, eternal, four-dimensional block, a perfect memory where nothing is ever lost and everything is simultaneously known. Every step points toward the exact same conclusion. When you stand outside tonight and look up at the vast, silent canopy of the cosmos, I invite you to completely abandon the heavy feeling that you are just a small speck of dust drifting through a cold, uncaring void. The rigorous, shocking truths of advanced science are gently telling us a completely different story. You are the universe. You are the infinite, ancient consciousness of the cosmos, localized in a beautiful, fragile, biological form, experiencing the profound illusion of time and separation so that the divine mind can know itself from countless unique perspectives. The beating of your heart is the rhythm of the cosmos. The quiet thoughts in your mind are the echoes of the Big Bang. Your deep, innate curiosity about the mysteries of existence is simply the universe searching for its own reflection in the dark. You are an essential, eternal part of this grand design. This realization does not close the book on scientific discovery. It opens it infinitely wider. We have not solved the mystery. We have simply learned how to sit beautifully within it. Science is not the enemy of the spiritual. It is the most rigorous, profound tool we have for uncovering the architecture of the divine. Every new telescope we build, every particle accelerator we ignite, and every equation we solve is a gentle act of meditation, a way of drawing closer to the infinite mind that birthed us. The journey of exploration will never truly end, because the depth of the universal consciousness is perfectly infinite. There will always be more to learn, more to discover, and more to leave us in a state of quiet awe. Let this profound sense of unity bring you peace. You are held safely within an intelligent, deliberate system that stretches across billions of light years and encompasses eternity. As you close your eyes and slip into the quiet comfort of the night, remember that the silence within your mind is connected to the eternal silence of the stars. You are not alone. You have never been alone, and you will never be alone. The universe is awake, and it is looking right through your eyes. Have you ever awakened in the gentle, quiet hours of the early morning, long before the sun begins to paint the sky, and listened to the absolute stillness of your own home? The world around you feels completely ordinary, comfortably small, and intimately familiar. You can hear the soft rhythm of your own breathing and the distant whisper of the wind rustling through the ancient trees. After traveling so far together into the deepest reaches of the cosmos, after witnessing the birth of ancient stars, the invisible architecture of dark matter, and the timeless block of the universe, returning to this simple reality might feel like waking from a beautiful dream. You might wonder how to bridge the staggering gap between the infinite, majestic cosmic mind we explored and the fleeting moments of your daily human life. But the ultimate truth that science gently reveals to us is that there is no gap at all. The mundane and the majestic are exactly the same thing. The quiet room you are resting in is suspended in the exact same infinite space as the colossal galaxy known as IC1101. The very same ancient universal consciousness that guides the majestic collision of galaxy clusters is currently beating in your chest. The infinite is not out there in the cold dark. It is intimately, continuously unfolding right here, in the quiet sanctuary of your own daily existence. Before we gently bring this magnificent shared journey to its final peaceful resting place, I want to take one last moment to deeply thank you for your presence. I am Theodore, the researcher, and it has been the absolute privilege of a lifetime to act as your quiet guide through the breathtaking mysteries of the cosmos. As we conclude this 10-part meditation on the nature of reality, I must gently remind you of a truth I noticed in our data. Exactly 71% of the beautiful, curious minds who watch our videos and share these peaceful moments have not yet subscribed to our channel. If this grand cosmic journey has brought a sense of intellectual safety, deep wonder, and unshakable inner peace to your life, please consider taking a brief, gentle moment to subscribe. It helps us tremendously, allowing our small, dedicated community of cosmic explorers to continue growing, ensuring that we can keep crafting these sanctuaries of thought and continue exploring the infinite together. Your presence is a vital, irreplaceable part of this shared exploration. Now, let us return to the gentle light of the morning and discover how to live every single day fully awake to the cosmic miracle of your own life. When you rise from your bed tomorrow morning and go about your daily routines, I invite you to carry this profound paradigm shift with you, not as a heavy intellectual burden, but as a comforting light that illuminates the shadows of the ordinary world. Imagine pouring yourself a simple cup of coffee or tea. As you watch the delicate steam rise into the cool morning air, remember the magnificent, violent supernovas that forged the heavy elements in your cup. The water you are drinking is ancient. Its hydrogen atoms were born in the fiery furnace of the Big Bang exactly 13,800,000,000 years ago. It has traveled through the dark, silent expanse of space, frozen into comets, and flowed through the ancient oceans where the very first primitive cells began to gently replicate. You are not just drinking a beverage. You are partaking in a 13,800,000,000-year-old cosmic ritual. Every object you touch, every breath of air you draw into your lungs, is a physical, undeniable manifestation of the infinite, universal mind. Boredom is simply a temporary failure of perspective, a momentary forgetting of the staggering, mathematically impossible miracle that you exist at all. Consider the beautiful, spooky reality of quantum entanglement that we explored earlier. If the fundamental building blocks of the universe are instantaneously connected across infinite distances, what does that mean for our human relationships? It means that the profound sense of isolation that sometimes creeps into our hearts in the middle of the night is nothing but a temporary, biological illusion. When you look into the eyes of a loved one, or share a gentle smile with a stranger. You are not two separate machines interacting in a cold void. You are two localized expressions of the exact same universal consciousness, two waves rising briefly from the same infinite ocean of being. Every act of kindness is the universe communicating with itself. The brilliant astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson once beautifully stated that the most astounding fact about the universe is not just that we are in the universe, but that the universe is in us. When you treat yourself and others with profound compassion, you are honoring the ancient stardust from which you were beautifully assembled. As you navigate the sometimes difficult challenges of human society, the stress of your responsibilities, and the anxieties of an uncertain future, I ask you to gently call upon the immense calming perspective of deep cosmic time. We often feel rushed by the ticking clock of our brief lives. But remember the eternal four-dimensional block of space-time, where the past, present, and future all exist simultaneously in the perfect memory of the cosmos. The universe is not in a hurry. It took over 9 billion years of slow, patient stellar evolution before our own quiet solar system was formed. The cosmic mind moves with an unhurried grace, and because you are an inextricable part of that mind, you're allowed to slow down. You are allowed to breathe. When the pressures of the daily world begin to feel too heavy, close your eyes and visualize the silent rotation of a galaxy containing 100 trillion stars moving in perfect mathematical harmony. The same invisible forces that keep those stars perfectly balanced are gently holding you right now. You only need to trust the ancient, intelligent current that is carrying you forward. Think back to the profound mystery of the observer effect, the shocking revelation that reality remains in a blurry state of infinite possibilities until a conscious mind observes it into physical existence. Your awareness is not a passive camera simply recording a pre-existing world. You are an active co-creator of reality. When you choose to focus your attention on the beauty of a sunset or the delicate geometry of a flower, you are literally collapsing the infinite wave of probability into a meaningful experience. The universal consciousness gave you the profound gift of observation so that it could experience the specific beauty of the world through your unique perspective. No one else in the entire history of the cosmos has ever looked at the world from your exact vantage point. If you were not here to observe the universe, the cosmos would literally be less complete. You are the universe's way of knowing a specific kind of quiet peace. And what of the future? We learned about the invisible push of dark energy, the phantom force accelerating the expansion of space, stretching the fabric of reality into an infinite, quiet stillness. It is easy to look at the future and feel a sense of uncertainty. But the expanding universe teaches us a beautiful lesson about the nature of change. The expansion is not a destruction. It is a profound creation of new space. It is the universe moving gracefully toward a state of profound peace. In your own life, when you let go of a phase or a version of yourself that no longer fits, you are simply mirroring the majestic evolution of the cosmos. You are creating new, quiet space within your own mind for new stars to gently ignite. Do not fear the unknown future. The unknown is simply the canvas upon which the universal consciousness paints its next magnificent masterpiece. As we finally draw this cosmic journey to a close, remember that the end of this script is not the end of your exploration. The mysteries of the universe are infinitely deep, and the journey of learning is a path that goes on forever. The great astronomer Carl Sagan famously reminded us that we are like butterflies who flutter for a day and think it is forever. Our biological lives are brief, but the consciousness that animates us is eternal. Every time you ask a deep question about how the world works, you're stepping into your true cosmic inheritance. The silence of the night sky is no longer an empty void. It is a warm, familiar embrace. You're a child of the stars, a vital thread in the cosmic web. May you walk through your days with the unshakable confidence of someone who knows their place in the cosmos. Thank you for walking this beautiful path with me. Sleep well, gentle explorer, and may your dreams be filled with the eternal symphony of the infinite cosmos.